Good day, one and all. My name is Kathy, and welcome to this episode of the Scrap and Crafty Gardener. Today, I'm going to be making a birthday card using a couple of new GinaK design things that I've gotten recently. The first thing I want to do is, since when I turn my mini mink on, it makes the light over my head strobe a little bit. So I wanted to get the sentiment done first so you can see it. I am using these GinaK Polly-Glaze sheets, Elegant Thoughts, and then I have the matching die set to cut them out. And I have already cut out one of the little ones. I want to do a happy birthday card. So I'm just going to, I don't have a carrier sheet. It didn't come with my mink, and I didn't feel like contacting the company since I don't really need it. I'm going to take the Polly-Glaze and just brush it with a Swiffer dust cloth. And then I'm using, this is just Heidi Swapp hot foil. This is an old foil. I think this is the way it goes. And I'm just going to put that down over here. And I'm going to run that through. And I have to do this sideways since I have the mini mink. Run that through the mink. Once I get this done, I'm going to use some plain Polly-Glaze and do my scrap foil. It just takes a little bit of time going through here. When I'm done with this card, I also wanted to show you my new box of GinaK stuff that came in the mail today. And if I would have made yesterday's card today, it'd have been a lot easier, and I'll show you why in just a moment. And this is almost through. There we go. I'm just going to wave it to cool it down just a little bit. And I'm going to lift this up to see how that looks. And, oh, that foiled beautifully. That is beautiful. I love Polly-Glaze. All right, now I'm just going to take, I really don't need all this foil, so I'm going to cut off some extra here. Because whatever foil I have extra, I need to make my white Polly-Glaze sheet the size to match. In fact, I'm going to go a little bit smaller on the Polly-Glaze. And then I'm just going to do the same. Dust that off. Because my basement's dusty. Cat hairs, whatever you want. Human hairs. And just dust in general. And then I'm going to run that right back through. I guess it's preferred to have a carrier sheet. I didn't take it out of the box quick enough to contact the maker or seller. And then I found you really didn't need one, so I didn't want to. Just plain old copy paper works for me. And I was given quite a lot of it that had been water damaged, and so they couldn't use it in their copier machines anymore. So I said, sure, I'll use it. Us scrappers and card makers, never let anything go to waste if we can help it. All right, and now I'm just going to let that cool, and I'm going to turn off my make machine. Set that aside, and then I get to plug in my other lights again. So let me get my cord plugged in here. I had the electrician come and put in extra cords for me, but I obviously didn't have enough put in. All right. So I'm going to set this aside, and let's see how that turned out. Oh, wow. That's nice. Look at that. All right. Okay. Now I'm going to put my Polly-Glaze aside before I misplace it. All right, now I'm going to be using a new cardstock that came in today's mail. This is GinaK's Plum Punch. I just love that color. This is 10 inches by 7 inches. I scored it at the 5-inch mark, folded it, and creased it with my bone folder. And then I have a piece of mirror cardstock. This is the silver chrome from Tonic Studios. They have the white on the back. This measures 4 3/4 by 6 3/4. Actually, I should do it this way because I'm making a horizontal card. And then I went with a smaller inside piece, so I would have a little bit of a larger of the silver showing. So this piece measures 6.5 by 4.5. And then I have a piece of white, 4 3/4 by 6 3/4 for the inside. And I only need one more piece of white, but I cut it. And then I have a piece of 6 3/4 by 4 3/4 that I'm going to cut down. The first thing I need to do is stencil my image, which I am using the new, where did it go? Oh, yeah, here it is. This is the Dazzling Dahlia stencil that just came in GinaK's release. I have my waffle flower grip mat, and I'm going to stencil this twice. Pardon me. This is number 1, number 2, 3, and 4. I'm going to stencil it first on the smaller layer. And I am going to mark exactly on here with some washi tape. And this should work this time because I'm not going to be turning the stencil. I want to get this in precise placement. So I'm going to, well, don't have enough washi tape on this, and I don't feel like getting up to get some more. So I'm just going to make this corner line up. Okay. And this corner. And if I get my stencil back in this corner, it should work. All right, and I pulled out what I thought would go nice with the Plum Punch. Oh, there's my extra Poly-Glaze sheet. Light orchid, medium orchid, and dark orchid. So I'm going to start with my light orchid first. And I need to get whatever's on my brush off. Let's move some of this out of the way. You definitely, because I don't want to get ink on you. All right. And I'm just going to go over this with a light orchid. And for this, I am going to rub my brush in 2 directions. I'm going counterclockwise, and then I'm going back clockwise. And I don't know if you can see, but that adds an extra ridge. If you go one way, you just get a shadow on this side. And I'm going the other way to get the shadow on the other side. Okay. Pull up that stencil and put in stencil number 2. And I have to do this twice today. All right. That worked pretty good. Now I'm going in with a medium orchid. Pardon me. And again, I'm going to go back and go the second direction. Now I'm just going to use a small brush, and I don't have any little more. I think I can use my red. Let me see what this looks like. Yeah, I want to take the dark orchid, and I just want to do a couple of the inside pieces. I'm just going to color. And I really don't need to do it on this one because I'm going to cover up the center of this, but I want to see how this looks for my top layer. Oh, okay, I do like that. All right, so I'm going to put a little bit on the top of each one of these petals. And this one will show, I think. That might be a little too. Nope, that actually looks pretty good. Just darkening up the edges. And kind of making like a striped border on them, if that makes sense. And that's how that looks. All right. And then I'm coming in with my greenery. And the greenery, I think, is what's going to show the most. And I'll show you why I'm here in a moment. Why I need to do this twice and why things aren't really going to show. I'm going to start my greenery with Jelly Bean Green. And I need to clean off my, not sure what was on here before. And for these leaves, I'm only going to go counterclockwise because I don't want the edges to show on both sides. But you can do it however you like to do it. There is no right and there is no wrong. And if you get it not right, it's just paper. Do it again. This is coming out very pretty. And this is the last piece here. All right. And I'm using fresh asparagus for the darker green. And I really want this to be darker. Okay. All right. And that's how that's looking. Now, on this back piece only, I am going to use the GinaK Harvest Flourish stencil. And I'm going to use soft stone in very, very light ink. And I'm kind of putting it where there isn't the flower design. Let's see how that looks. That looks good. So now I'm moving it over here. Doesn't matter where I put it on the stencil. Just make sure it's stuck down. This is just adding a little bit of something to the background. Okay, now I am done with this piece for now. Now I need my larger 4 3/4 by 6 3/4 piece. And I'm going to have to move these down once I figure out where are my stencils. And this, I'm going to cut this in a moment once I get it colored. This is going to be the top layer. So I'm going to go back with my first stencil. And I'm going to kind of get that as centered as I can on that piece. And then put my washi tape back down. All right, and I'm going to go back with the same colors. So I'll get out my little, this is just a slightly damp wet wipe. And I'm going to go in with a light orchid. And again, I'm going to go clockwise and counterclockwise. Pardon me. Set that aside because I'm done with that for now. And come in with layer 2. Just right. And that one's, there we go. With the medium orchid. And this one, I'm going to do the whole coloring, but I may not have to do it all, but I don't really know for sure. And I can already tell that this is a different color, but that looks all right. Must not have cleaned out my light orchid brush, you know, so I'm going to do this one again. I'm not liking the color of that because I wanted it to be as similar to that as possible, and I didn't clean off my brush enough. So I'm just going to flip this over and do this again. So that's one of the keys, is you've got to make sure, if you're going to do 2 of the same, you make sure you got a nice clean brush. I obviously did not do that. So I want that bottom layer to be very light. Okay. Let's try that again. And I'll use a lighter hand. And there we go. That's better. That's much better. Okay. Now layer 2. Medium orchid. Oh, you know what happened? I think I went with the dark orchid. My lid is off the dark orchid. That's what I did different. All right, let's make sure that's stuck down. That's what was different. Okay. Now I'm coming in with the dark orchid. And I'm gonna, and I may have reversed the stencil. I think I did. All right, we're starting over. That's what happened. I did number 1 layer versus number 2 layer. All right, I can use that for something else. I just won't use it for this project. Make sure this is layer 1. Get that centered again. Here we go. Oh my. You know, sometimes life hands you a challenge. And I gotta make sure that stays down. So I'm gonna hold it for a little bit. I need to clean my grip mat. And all you need to do to clean your grip mat is run it under some warm water. That was layer 1. I did layer 2 first, and that's what was changing it. And then I used the wrong color. All right. All right, so that was the light orchid. Feel free to skip through my coloring. That's all right with me. One of my goals is to show you that, you know, things don't always work out the way you expect them to, right at the beginning. So change it up. Have fun with it. As I said, it's just a piece of paper. So I'll use that one where I mixed up the colors. I'll use that on another card. Because that really, I just wanted it to match this one as close as possible. So if it doesn't, I use it on another card where it doesn't matter if it matches. It can be the sole design on that one. So this is number 3. Okay, now I'm going in with the jelly bean green. Light. Most of this will probably be cut off because I'm going to cut this out in a shape. And fresh asparagus for the next layer. And again, I want this dark. Only 18 minutes in, and I think we're about done with the card, honestly. Okay. Yes, that looks good. Now this one I am not doing the stencil on. So I'm going to take out my washi tape here. And I'm just going to spray a little water on my grip mat and use my tidy towel. Did that to the back earlier, which is why it sticks really well. Okay, let's set that off to the side. Now, this larger one, I'm going to cut down, and I'm using Hero Arts Infinity Nested Die. This is the diamond. And I want to just get the center of this. So I need to put it up here. I think this is going to be good. Just get the center of the flower. You know, I needed a bigger piece of paper. I'm going to use a smaller die. Okay, let's see. Have the next size down. There, that's going to work. Okay. The one I had was 5 inches. This one is going to be, it's about 4.5 inches in a diamond shape. I want to get the center. What is it, Kenneth? Hello, sweetie. You saying hi to everyone out in YouTube land? Yeah. Oh, well, I'm just going to cut this out. Oh, excuse me, Kenneth. Is there something you want? I gotta move the paper. Can't get into my machine. All right. That's going to go in the center there. Oh, that'll look good. Now, I'm going to put you on pause because I had already cut out 2 diamonds of the larger size. And since they're not going to fit now, I need to cut out these smaller. And I'll be right back. Okay, while I was offline, I also cut out the 2 sentiments. One I will use on this card and one I will use on another one. So I'm going to start putting this together now. I'm going to put on this back white, you know, and that would look pretty all by itself. You really don't need to add a lot to it, but Kenneth, I can hear your motor going 90 miles an hour. Yeah, you happy? Oh, why, thank you. All right, got a little bit of glue on there. I can wipe that off. You could just do a straightforward card like this, and there would be nothing wrong with that. This I'm going to put on the inside. Just like that. Okay, now I'm going to take this centerpiece and the 2 that I cut out and glue these together. I just want this to be a little thicker, and I'm still going to pop it up. Oh, hold on. I think my cat wants out. That's why he was purring. Just a moment. Okay, life with cats. Now this I want to pop up in the center of this panel. So I am going to get my foam tape. Actually, I'm just going to use my strips because I don't want this to be too high. I just have these 1/8 of an inch wide by maybe a 1/16 of an inch tall foam strips. And I'm just going to put that around here. And these do bend easily. Just to pop this up a hair. And right down the middle. Now, take these off. Okay. Now, to get this as centered as I can on my design. Yeah. Now, I am going to bling this up. But at first I was thinking of putting the white happy birthday on here. But I'm really liking how this silver happy birthday looks. So I think I'm going to use that. And I'm just going to glue this down flat, because I want it to be lower than the center diamond. Okay. And I had some aurora borealis rhinestones. Let me grab them real quick. There we go. I think these will look very pretty on this card. because they have a pink and blue and purple finish to them. I'm gonna, let's see, I'm gonna put one there. It's just calling for one. I don't know why. And a smaller one there. A little tiny one. Well, I got two of them. One little tiny one by that. And one over there. Okay, now I'm going to use my diamond stickles again. One of my favorites. And it's not one of my cards unless it's got blinged out. All right, and my stickle brush. Where did it go? I'm going to put this just on the flower. Okay. Well, oh, there you are. Right where it was supposed to be, but I didn't put my glasses on this morning before I came down. So sometimes things are hiding in plain sight when you don't have your glasses. And I'm only going to do this flower, not the one on the edge. I want the center to be very sparkly and stand out. Now, if this had been a stamp, what I would have done was stamp the back, maybe just in black and white, and then color the center portion. But as this is, it makes it look like it's a dimensional flower rather than just a plain flat flower. But this is beautiful. And I've been seeing some people make different cards with this. And I wanted to do something just slightly different. Though I do like the idea of just one in the center for just a simple, easy card with not a lot of steps to it, especially if you mess up the stenciling the first time. And then the second time. Sometimes I think I ought to buy stock in stickles. But okay, I think that is my card for today. Let me get it up here where you can see it better. And the colors, how they are here, are not translating to how they are on my camera. But this is really vivid pink. And let me see if I can get you to see the sparkle of that center flower. There you go. On my computer screen, it looks more purpley, but in real life, this Plum Punch and these look pink and very pretty. And I love the Poly-Glaze accents. Well, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I hope to see you tomorrow.